It is a damn good day to have a damn good day. We're live. It's the Damn Good Day Show. We have a damn phenomenal guest. Melissa, welcome to the show.
Thank you, thank you.
This is so awesome because I feel like we met in the most authentic potential way possible.
Absolutely, 100%.
Two people at the bar, hanging out, both by ourselves, day after work, doing our thing. Hey, how are you? What is this event you're promoting? And somehow I got lucky enough to sit next to you.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was so cool because I remember you were mentioning that you were putting on this big event. You were pitching the bartender. He needs to go. So I'm like, clearly these guys are friends.
Yeah. I mean, he's been to my events before. But I was like, hey, it's time to elevate. You know what I mean? Because he's been trying to start his own business for a couple years now. I'm like, what are you waiting for? Let's go.
And that's your energy. It's elevating. It's elevating people. It's every second that your existence seems to just be helping people. I mean, in the short term that I've been watching your Instagram, what you've been doing with Epic Talks, it's amazing that you're able to maintain such a level of positivity, of optimism. And the business you've built is so incredible. Congratulations on everything.
Thank you so much. I feel extremely blessed. So,
and the whole deal with Epic Talks is such a a wild concept, right? Because people hear of TED Talks, right? That seems to have a lot of the flair, but you flipped that upside down and created Epic Talks.
Yeah, it's Epic Talks is like TED Talks but on steroids. You know, we have an amazing hour of full-on networking and building relationships and introducing people to others, you know, and I even give them an exercise card as they're coming in through the door of how to network. You know, go up to somebody, find someone with your same card, but in the process of you finding that person with the same card, you get to ask them, who are you? What do you do? How can I add value? What are you most excited about? You know, get people to start opening up.
Break the ice.
Yeah, break the ice. And we also have, you know, local artists that come and showcase their work. We have an amazing catering company that sponsors the event. We have a red carpet.
It's legit. I mean, when you see it too, you're doing these weekly.
Yeah, I mean monthly, yes.
Monthly.
Yeah, monthly. However, we do have an inner circle membership, and we get to see each other 3 times a month. We have dinners.
That's what I was referencing.
Yes.
That is so cool.
Dinners and adventures, so it's like more personable and yeah.
Well, it's cool because I feel that concept has been something that many people may have somewhat thought of. But you executed on it, and you executed phenomenally. I mean, the guests you have at these events are outstanding, and that has everything to do with your ability to attract great talent and put on really quality events.
Yes, absolutely. I got blessed that way, you know, and for me, it's all about having that vision, and I truly believe that God doesn't give you a vision that you can't execute. So the moment you have that seed that's planted, it's your duty to start watering it and do something about it. And the thing is that most people, they just sit there and they don't believe in themselves enough, right? In order for them to continue on that path or journey and make that idea grow. And my whole purpose and my goal is to help people see that anything is possible when you believe in yourself and you set your mind to do it.
It's interesting. I love how you mentioned that. Because you put on events, essentially you put on these outstanding events. And by the way, we have to intro the special guest today.
My little doggy, Blackie. Blackie just had major surgery, and he's going with me everywhere. I'm not ready to leave him home alone yet, but he survived it.
He's adorable.
Thank you.
My first dog is not a real dog. It was a stuffed animal. His name was Black Dog. So Black has a special part of my heart.
He knows you're talking about him. Like
he's got a great head of hair on him.
Yeah. You know, I learned a lot from him, a lot of resilience, you know, and strength, and he survived something that most animals wouldn't. So
well, I think people are supposed to be with animals, right? Yeah. There's different levels of success in life, and this is my theory. There's health success, which is you're a healthy person. You're healthy. You have so much happiness. You could do whatever you want. You're capable of traveling and all this stuff. There's financial success, which is obviously, you know, you have money, you have resources, you're able to go do some stuff. There's relationship success. You're able to have a great relationship with your significant other or partner and like be happy with all that. And then there's another level of success called Beastmaster.
Beastmaster. Okay, I like that.
Which is some straight grassroots, an animal primitive state where you start connecting with the animal on a completely different form of communication. You ever notice that? You know, like when you see a dog, you go, oh my God,
Yeah, totally. The animal language.
You know, it's just like they can tell, they can see what's up. They start to learn you and feel you. And
he feels your energy, which is the reason why he's gravitating towards you right now. I would put him on your lap, but he's got stitches all down his
he looks
belly,
like he's about to jump.
No, he won't.
Okay,
he won't.
Cool. But that feeling of being able to have the camaraderie, I think, is so important for humans, because we go through all these complicated emotions every day just inside of our bodies, and especially women more than men. And just the ability to have something stable, something that shows true love and joy and reminds us that that problem you're thinking about is not that big of a deal. I mean, that is so priceless.
Yes. And unconditional love, we're their world. If you have an animal, you are their world. They live, they breathe you. They're waiting for you when you leave. Like, you're their everything. So.
And it comes at a price, though. And the price is they're not here forever.
Yeah. But enjoy them while you can.
Amen. 100%. I'm trying to get my dad to get a new dog.
Well, you're about to get one, so.
Yes, January. And I'm going to be moving him to Miami because he's supposed to be retiring shortly.
Your dad?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's going to be really, really fun.
That's awesome.
He needs a change. He needs to get out of
New York. He'll be here and he'll love it.
He needs I don't know if Miami might be too much for him because he's an older dude. He's
maybe
like 63.
Fort Lauderdale or Boca Raton. He might like Boca Raton.
Right. I'm thinking you start off in Miami just to use as a home base, like have squad near him, and then expand.
Yeah. Boca would be, I used to live in Boca. It's more like older people, retired people, but it's still like a damn good time.
A damn good time.
Good time.
Damn good time. A new segment.
There you go.
On the event thing, were you throwing events when you were younger? Or did you just always like hosting and throwing events? Or was it an acquired taste?
No, never. But I've always been a people person ever since I was a little girl. I always knew how to get my way around, and if I couldn't, I would find a way, I'll tell you a story. When I was little, I was in gymnastics, and we had a trip, right? And my father didn't want to give me the money, or he couldn't afford to give me the money for the trip. And all of the rest of the kids, their parents were giving them the money, and I was upset and I was devastated. So my father said to me, "You know what?" He's like, "I'm going to let you borrow $15, and I'm going to take you to a chocolate place and buy you a box of chocolate. And there's 30 chocolates in that box. The box is $15. So this is what's going to happen. You're going to sell those chocolates for $1 each. So you're going to pay me back my $15, and with your profit, you're going to go buy another box of chocolate and continue making your money that way." And that was exactly what I did. I paid my father back. I was like 9 or 10 years old. He would drop me off at universities, and he was a professor in the University in Puerto Rico.
So it wasn't like fully sketch. It was like, it was a monitored playpen.
Yeah, exactly. And well, he would drop me off in other universities, but I was safe there,
Gotcha.
So, and I just, started selling to students, and some students didn't have money, and I'd be like, "Well, I'll be back tomorrow. You want to pay me back tomorrow?" Or like I would, make a deal with them or something like that. And I was able to save up money for my gymnastics team. And, at the time it didn't make sense. And I was angry because everybody else was getting like the good stuff and getting their trips paid and getting nice shoes and all that stuff. My dad made me work for it, and that was a big lesson. And I think that one of the reasons why I'm such a go-getter is because who puts their kid at 9 years old to go make some money so you could pay for your own trip? Yeah. And I just used my charm, and I anything that I always would put my mind to, I would do it. So
it's so interesting. It's when you have skin in the game, you take things so much more serious.
Yes.
I even think back in the day when my parents would see, we lived in a house with, there was so many trees, and I think we were the last family to ever outsource that. So like my mom would just rake leaves. Like we would have 200 bags of leaves. It was insanity.
Yeah.
Could have just paid like $100 and had that thing taken care of. And instead we had to rake it. But I used to hate doing it because it always just seemed like such a chore. Even growing up, I was kind of like, I didn't even like doing dishes or anything. Because to me, it was just this, I live in this place. Once you get a house and you become an adult, you don't even have to ask me twice. Like I'm out there freaking tending this lawn. Like I love it. I love doing the daily things because I have skin in the game. It's part of an investment that I saw from the beginning to the end. You put time into it. It's interesting the lessons you learn from just having skin in the game at some level.
Absolutely.
And now you built this level of confidence in yourself, selling those chocolates that just radiates to this day.
Exactly. And it was fun. And even in kindergarten, I would always get away with stuff. You know what I mean? I knew the little loopholes. I knew, just, I don't know. I guess I was born that way, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe being a foster child helped with that too, because I was being placed in different homes, and you kind of have to adapt to those places, like, like a chameleon.
What's your earliest memory with all of that?
I would say when we had a raid in my house. Yeah, I remember that. I was like 3.5, and I remember, like they knocked down the doors and, were taking my parents and stuff like that. So my biological parents.
That was like a first memory that you.
Yeah, I do remember that. And then I remember going into different homes, and I remember opening up the fridge and there was no food in the fridge. My brother and sister crying, and it's funny because I'm so grateful for that. You know what I mean? If I had to live my life all over again, I'd do it again, because it's created who I am today. And I feel that if I hadn't gone through those moments in life, I wouldn't be the person I am today.
Yeah.
If I would have had that cookie cutter life, I don't think I'd be where I'm at right now.
Well, you've done so much personal development, and you surround yourself with the most positive, optimistic people. And I'm sure you've heard just the whole idea of, those first traumatic experiences have these lasting effects on us our whole life. Did you ever have to go through a moment where you had to sort of conquer that, or do you felt like you just almost naturally learned from that? I guess what I'm saying is, when a dog might have gotten hit when it was younger, it's always like kind of like doing the thing.
Okay.
So like those traumas that we have can get like super deep rooted in ourselves, and they kind of come out in other negative ways. And if we don't sort of heal that trauma.
Yeah. You know what's funny? You would think that because of the trauma that I've gone through that I wouldn't trust anyone. I'm so trusting, and I get burned a lot, but it's because I see the good in everyone. And when it happens, I'm like, okay, well, what do I get to learn from this? But I don't meet you and like, I don't trust you, or I don't like you, or I'm not really judgmental. Don't get me wrong. I'm not perfect, but there's moments where I catch myself judging someone, and then immediately I check myself. Right.
Yeah.
But,
I think we're similar in that sense. It's like giving people the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Like assuming they're good people.
Yeah, exactly. So
and then they have to prove why they're not versus proving why they are.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't go into relationships thinking, oh, this person's. No, I'm just like, hey, welcome. Thank you for being my friend. Like, come into my home. I'll cook for you. When I was little, my foster parents that took me in, we lived in like the mountains in this university, and there was always students always roaming around. And we used to, we were Christians, and we celebrated the Sabbath. And at night we would sing, Christian songs and stuff like that. And in Puerto Rico, it's like open windows, right? With screens on it. It's not like closed windows. So we would sing, and then you would hear some of the students singing, and my parents would be like, oh, there's someone out there. Tell them to come in. And like, we'd tell them to come in. We give them rice and beans and like, make some chocolate and crackers. So, I grew up with that, being of service and giving. And thankfully, I did go into a Christian home that I was able to learn about the Bible, and a lot of the morals and the values that I live by now is because of what I've learned in church.
Very cool.
Yeah. So I don't go to church now. I'm not like a full-on Christian, but I have my own relationship with God, and I truly believe in spirituality, and I do the work.
Well, I remember I don't know if I told you this because we didn't have too long to chat, but when I was at Peter Taunton's house, that's where I met Augusto and like a couple of these other guys. And they were all talking about like the relationship with God and all that stuff. And that day I kind of got sold on the fact that, okay, like I should give this another shot. Now I'm in no way like a hardcore Christian, if not, but I have been to VU a few times.
Yeah, and it's great. And great people and great energy.
I got to say, the people and the energy is legit. And if you're new to Miami, there's a lot of value in joining some level of club. Now, I'm not going to call church being in a club, but it is a network.
Yes, absolutely.
And there's a lot of good people with open arms trying to become friends. Mm-hmm. So it's a great place to start if you're looking for a community.
Absolutely. And Epic Talks too.
Epic Talks is legit.
Epic Talks is legit.
And I remember you gave me the lowdown of, didn't you went through like a crazy experience then that made you think of Epic Talks, right? Didn't you?
Yeah, I was just I was feeling lonely, you know. I was feeling like I wasn't meeting people on my same like energy and frequency and mindset. I got into personal development about 9 years ago when I found myself in a really dark place in my life. And I found out about personal development, and it changed my life so much that I was like, I need to pay this forward. How can I pay this forward? And I remember walking over the bridge in Brickell and feeling like, man, I'm not meeting people like me. And I was going to networking events and just, you know, leaving unfulfilled, nothing tangible, like not great connections. People are just like, here's my business card. I could do this for you. I could sell you this. I could do that. Do you have real estate? And all this stuff. And I'm just like, whoa, right? I didn't like it. So I was planning to leave. I was going to go to Los Angeles because at the time, that's where all the motivational speakers were, Lewis Howes and Alexi Panos and Preston Smiles and Sterling Griffin, like all these people that I knew. And I'm like, let me go over there. But then I was like, if it doesn't exist here, I can create it. So I did. And I literally, from the moment that I thought about it to the day I had my first event was only 3 days. So I never spoken on a stage before. I called one of my girlfriends, Alicia Belchenko. She's a law professor in the University of Miami. And I said, Alicia, I'm thinking about doing maybe like a mastermind. If I do it, will you be one of the speakers? She's like, okay. She thought I was BSing her. I wasn't. I went on Canva. I took a picture of her, took a picture of me. At the time, I called it Epic Life Masters. And then I printed 100 flyers, passed them all over downtown, Brickell area,
just
my
like
building,
straight on the street, like, just being like, hey, come to our
event.
event.
Listen, I'm having an event. I'm a speaker, whatever. At the time, I'd never spoken on a stage. And then she you know, we had the first event and 15 people showed up. In 3 days, 15 people, 8 of them were my friends. So in reality, 7 people showed up. You know, I had gotten a cheese platter, some wine, and I printed out some papers because I was going to give some exercises to the people that got there. And I remember it was in that moment where I was like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. When I was sharing my story up there, it doesn't matter what you go through. It's up to you if you want to conquer your life. It's up to you if you choose not to be a victim, if you choose to be a victor of your circumstances. It's up to you. You know what I mean? And I was just like, yeah, you know, I was feeling my own fire. And I'm like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So at the time I was in medical sales and I was just starting to get tired of that. And I'm like, I'm going to start something big. And then my second event, I had 120 people. I did a collaboration with like Jason Stone, Millionaire Mentor, and Andres Ospina and Luis Escobar. And they started promoting it heavily with me. So the second event, 120 people. And then we were really strong for like 6 months. And then, you know, I continued with the platform and now it is what it is.
That is so crazy. So cool. How is it kind of like changed sort of from when you started to where it is now?
Well, I did a full year of free events and now I'm charging $150 to $200 for VIP tickets and $5,000 a year for the membership. So that's a big change.
That's amazing. Yeah.
So what I did was I just wanted to add value.
Yeah.
Value. Free.
Over a year, just gave it out as much as possible. Jab.
And then after the pandemic, I was like, I'm going to start charging because people are getting value out of this and the right people will stay and the wrong people will, you know, because it was free alcohol and free food. You know what I mean? So that's exactly what happened. And by, you know, raising the prices and adding more value and adding more content, I started bringing like really high level people.
Was it more the inner circle aspect of it or the raw events that you felt were like a bigger, like more sticky to them?
What do you mean?
Because don't you have 2 different types of memberships? There's like you can go to the event, and then there's also an inner circle.
Yep.
Did one of those sort of pop faster than the other?
No, it's actually been gradually. I just started the inner circle 6 months ago.
Awesome.
You know, and I've had Epic Talks for 3.5 years.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
And all the people you meet. So like one of my favorite things about doing this podcast is I get to meet amazing people, right? I just get to sit down and hear people's stories. Like it's awesome. It's phenomenal. It's fantastic. And I truly think that the human connection is the most valuable thing. And for people that are depressed or sad, they just need more human connection. And if you meet someone and hear their story, you can learn so much faster than going through all the years of trying to learn it yourself.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
And together, everyone can achieve more in that sense. So for you to be surrounded now by all of these people, what has that done to your life? You know, now you have all these connections to all these different industries. Does it constantly just have new ideas just rushing through your head and how it can add value here, how it can add value there?
Constantly new ideas. My mind is always running a million miles a minute. So sometimes I need to remind myself, focus on this, and just stick to the plan for a little bit. And the way it's changed my life, I didn't know there was so many amazing humans. I have met some remarkable people, and this is just the beginning, and my goal is to connect humans with humans where they can literally create impact in their lives so they can help take their lives and businesses to the next level. 2 of the inner circle people, one of them just helped raise $2.5 million for a company for one of the inner circle people. Another person that came to the Epic Talks event raised $1 million through someone that they met at Epic Talks. A couple people, multiple 6-figure months because of people that they have met at Epic Talks, So Blackie's over here trying to get some attention. Come here, buddy.
Hello, Blackie.
Come here, buddy.
I don't want to grab him because of the surgery.
Yeah. So just seeing the transformation, seeing the impact, seeing what it is doing for people's lives and businesses, I know I'm following my purpose. I know I'm living my purpose, and I'm super excited because we're actually launching in Thailand. Yes, I said it. I said it last year. The beginning of the year, we're going global, and I have the opportunity to launch it in Thailand, and I'm going for it. So 2023 January, we're launching in Thailand.
Damn.
Yes.
So at that point then, one of the things you're going to have to think about now is the scaling aspect of it. So how has that conversation been going and for people out there that are looking to scale their business? Maybe it's like their first store, right? They have a successful store, whether it's a restaurant, whatever, and now they want to scale to a second. For you, you're throwing all these amazing events. You built this community in Miami. What have been some of those lessons or things that you've implemented as you think about scaling?
Make sure that whoever you partner up with is in alignment with who you are, with your vision, your life, and your dreams. Because what I notice, even when you get into friendships that they're not in alignment with who you are and what you do, Sorry, my dog's making me laugh.
That's great. No,
it's not going to flourish. And I have made the decisions to stop giving people my time, those who are not into personal development, those who are not doing the work and getting themselves better and into the spiritual world and all of the good stuff that comes with becoming a better human, right? So for me, my strategy for taking it to the next level is to make sure that I partner up with people who are in alignment with my life, with my vision, and that have similar the desire of continued growth. Yeah. So
I feel a lot of that because someone might say, that sounds great, being in alignment, but then it's like another level forward, like, but how do you still tell that? How do you vet something out? And I feel a lot of it has to do with, number one, just overall energy, right? Like, is the vibe right?
Yeah.
But also to kind of crawl, walk, run at some level, like try to do some level of experiment with that person, whether that be a small task or a dry run, and see how they respond.
Yes.
Because a lot of times something might sound great now, but a few months later, people lose steam. And that seems to be like the biggest theme I have seen from all of the successful people that have been on the show is consistency is the bottom line underlying like fact that has helped people.
Yeah.
One of those lines that I've loved is B- work changes lives. I love that because it's like you don't need to always put A+ content as long as you're building and you're being consistent. That can help. I just completely shifted from 2 different discussion topics.
No. I like it. I've never heard of that before, but I like it. Another thing for me is I'm extremely intuitive, so I trust my intuition. That's
where I was going with that, and you just reminded me.
Yeah, my intuition it really guides me in the right direction.
That gut feeling.
And when I'm really questioning something, I go to the mirror and I look at myself and I look at my eyes and I say out loud, whatever the question is, whatever the insecurity is, whatever I'm doubting, I look at myself, because nobody's going to lie to you or tell you the truth the way you would to yourself. So I don't even call people for advice anymore. I go to the mirror. I was like, Melitsa, okay, how are you feeling about the situation? Okay, well, it didn't make me feel good, you know, and this is how I felt. Well, why did you feel that way? Because of this and that. Why? Because of this and that. And then I ask myself 7 questions deep, and then I get to the root of it, you know?
That's
so
awesome.
That's
cool.
A little secret, you know.
That is a secret. Yeah.
Let out the bag.
Yeah, that was a nugget.
And try it, you know.
But you mentioned that you keep asking the question to yourself, like, but why this? Why? You almost keep saying why until you get to the root.
Yeah, exactly. So then you get the answer for that. So when you question that answer, and then you keep going, you know. So if you were to, you know, give me like a traumatic experience, for example, I would be like, well, why do you feel that way? Well, because when I was little, my dad did this. Why do you think your dad did this? Well, because, and then, well, why do you think his dad did this? Or whatever it may be. And you keep asking, and then, but before you know it, you're like, oh my God, you know what I mean? So it's definitely something that works.
Well, your story is cool because you can really relate with people. I mean, just coming from a foster type of scenario to all the way to doing what you're doing now, it's like truly spectacular. And you're able to, because of your hardships, if you would, and the adversity, you're able to relate to people. And that gives you, and I mean, me and Sky talk about this all the time. We just talk about like late night communications, like all of like the most effed up things that happen in life. Like I know recently for me, like my mom passing, and I know you've also faced like a huge loss with both your parent and as well as your dog. And it's just all these like really like terrible things that can just crush people, and grief and all these things. Like these experiences give us so much outlook on life and shape us to who we are. And it's a beautiful thing. But if you don't see the other side of that, you can get lost in the sauce of like darkness and sadness.
Yeah.
But it's important to know that the most well-rounded, amazing people are the ones that have gone through the most diverse experiences. Mm-hmm, you know, it's like the story with Oprah. Like her story is crazy. You know, J.K. Rowling, crazy.
Yeah.
You know, because you develop that sort of emotional intelligence where you can start to vibe with people and get down to the real you, get down to the core.
Absolutely.
But if you never go through hardship, you just never figure it out.
You never do. And it's so interesting you say that, because a lot of the people that I have come across that they've had that cookie cutter life and not really, you know, really hardship and painful experiences, they don't understand our journey. They don't understand this path. And most of them are not empaths. I'm extremely how do you say it?
Empathetic.
Empathetic,
yeah.
Yes.
Empath's right.
Yeah. So, and it's those people that I really can't have a friendship with or a relationship with or a partnership, you know, whether it's someone I'm dating or not. If you haven't gone through hardship, I don't think we could understand each other, you know?
For sure. And it just gives you perspective. It's like the gift of perspective is massive. So it makes you reframe the way you're thinking about your current scenario. So if you're listening right now and you're thinking there's just something that's pissing you off or ticking you off, it's like maybe it should be pissing you off because you have to learn something from it.
Absolutely.
It should be tough. It's we get into that 9-to-5 scenario. You start making 6 figures. You're like, yo, life's sick. And then all of a sudden you want something that's more than 6 figures. And now you're like, it's not sick anymore. And you go down that loop. You got to refocus, refrain, and learn from the ups and downs of life. Go start a new business. Go sell chocolate. Like the best way to sell is just door-to-door sales. You'll get rejected so much, but eventually you won't care, and then you become unstoppable.
Yeah, it's how bad do you want it? Like when I first started in medical sales, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I was working with orthopedic surgeons. I didn't know crap, you know. But I had this opportunity, and it was door-to-door sales pretty much. I would have to go to their offices. I had a product to sell to them. And let me tell you, selling to orthopedic surgeons is like the hardest thing ever. they're cocky, they're arrogant, they think they're God's
and you gotta
gift
sell
to
them
earth.
yeah.
And then you have to sell them on something that they start questioning you about it. Why do I need it? I'm like, you don't need it. Your patients need it. Well, how am I going to benefit from it? Your patients are, and anyways, long story short, when I first started my medical business, I started finding out where these doctors were hosting events. So I would find out surgery centers that were opening up, and I would go, and it was on invitation only. So they would have the list, right? And I would go there, and they're like, oh, what office are you with? And I'm like, oh, they're already inside. And as I'm telling her they're already inside, I'm like, oh, right there, Dr. John Smith. Oh, okay. Well, and they would put the thing on me. I didn't know who Dr. John Smith was. They would give me the pamphlet, and it had all the doctors and what they do. Total knees is what I was looking for. Total knees, total hips, or upper body. And I would go to the doctors, and I say, oh, that's Dr. Smith right there. Let me go to him. Hey, Dr. Smith, how are you? I was just at your office yesterday. I've been trying to get in there, but you seem to be just so busy. And once they see you, you're charismatic. I'm not an ugly person, So they're like, oh my God, okay, here's my email, and here's my secretary. Make an appointment. I'll see you at the office. Perfect. That's how I built my business.
Love that.
But it was like believing in myself, So I started in Vegas. I did a territory in New York City. I tried doing one in Arizona, but that didn't work. I was training some people out there, and it didn't work out. But then I came to Miami, and I crushed it here too, So it's just about like, if you want something bad enough, you're going to make it happen. Doesn't matter how. You're going to find a way. So yeah.
I love that. I mean, you've paved the path. You found something that worked, and then you just repeated that process.
Yeah.
Became your old lead gen. Figured out a way to book appointments. That world's interesting because sometimes those devices could be like $100,000, and like, the doctors, you're selling a doctor that it's going to help their patients, and a lot of times it will.
Yeah.
But a lot of times the doctor itself can't execute on it, and they end up losing money on it.
No, I did all the work.
You did it all.
Yeah. All they had to do was just say yes and sign the paper, so we made it pretty easy for them.
That's amazing.
But I did that for a decade, and I really enjoyed it. But it came to the point where I was just like, I'm ready to scale and not have to wait for doctors to approve a machine on me or not. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to start a business on my own. And, I started a charity. It's not a 501c3. I haven't taken the time to do that, but I started a little charity called Backpack Attack, where I gift backpacks to underprivileged kids. And I started with the homeless people. So
just the homeless people in Miami?
Yeah. The homeless people in Miami. And just out of my, my own expense, I would get like 20, 30 bags, go to the dollar store, go to this little wholesale place in Wynwood that, they sell backpacks for $3 to $5, fill them up with socks. I would go to dollar store, socks, toothpaste, toothbrush, Walmart, Target, you know what I mean?
Make a day of it.
Yeah, make a day of it. And then I started going to underprivileged areas, like, with kids and orphanages. I even did a Down syndrome event one time, and just being able to see like their faces of gratitude, and like something so simple. This bag wasn't more than $20 per bag.
Do you do speaking when you do that? Do you like speak to them first?
Yeah.
And give it? Yeah, you do a whole epic talk thing.
Yeah, I do a little speaking. What do you guys want to do when you get older? Follow your dreams. Yeah, and
that's
they're like
cool.
all laughing. I got to show you the video. But it's so fulfilling. It's so fulfilling. And it's about paying it forward. And I truly believe that when you find yourself in a dark place, find someone else that has it harder than you and go do something good for them. It will change you. You will feel so good. And it's in those moments that I'm giving back, that I'm helping people in need, is that I'm just like, my problems are nothing. There's nothing that I get to complain about. In fact, I'm going to be grateful for everything, And this morning I actually did a gratitude exercise, and because it started getting to my head, like, I had to cancel my event last week. My dog has been sick. Like, all these little things that
the ticks are adding up. Yeah.
And I was like, no, you're not going to take ownership of my life right now. I'm grateful because I have a roof over my head. And I'm saying this out loud. I'm grateful because I have food. I'm grateful because I have amazing people in my life. I'm grateful because I'm being interviewed on a podcast today. I'm grateful, you know what I mean? And I went on this gratitude for like 5 minutes, just chanting out loud what I'm grateful for. and negativity doesn't take part in my life anymore. I don't allow it to.
So you mentioned the gratitude, which is amazing, is this form of being able to convince yourself that you are now in a better state when you might have not been before, right? You can use gratitude as a way to reprogram your brain into thinking about the positives and things of that nature.
Not even convincing myself. I shouldn't have to convince myself. It's knowing.
Right.
I know that I'm blessed. I know that I'm truly being grateful. I don't need to convince myself. But sometimes, you call it the little itty shitty bitty committee, right? That everybody has, the little bad devil and then the good devil, right? Because there are energies and there are frequencies, and we do pick it up from certain peoples, and we bring it into our homes, and, we're humans. We're not perfect, right? But it's in those moments where I get to quiet the bad noise, the bad thoughts, the ones that try to bring you down, because we've been programmed for so long, especially since we were little, to stay in this place that doesn't feel good. And I'm reversing that. I'm ending generational trauma because of the work that I've done in my life. So that has to do with ending the generational trauma.
I mean, you came full circle. The sort of question I was trying to get at was just really like, what do you do when you have a bad day and you're trying to convince yourself the gratitude and all those things? You use the gratitude and that's like a practice right there, is to go there and just say, what else have you learned that has worked really well for you to kind of like change your state when you start to get kind of overwhelmed with a couple of things?
I jump up and down.
You do the rebounder deal?
Yeah, and I say cancel. I jump up and down. I do 50 jumping jacks. What are you grateful for? Boom.
You say
what
cancel?
Are you grateful for? Yeah, cancel. This doesn't belong to me.
Like you're on your phone, you're just getting rid of the tabs. Just get cancel.
And then I start jumping up and down. Like I literally jump up and down. And then, or I'll go outside. I love where I live. I live in a beautiful place. I go outside. I take Blackie outside. I go over the bridge. I start looking at the water. I start looking at the boats. I start getting inspired. Like, how blessed am I that God has given me the life that I have? And it literally, within 5 or 10 minutes, I'm out. The people give power to things that don't matter. Mm-hmm. And situations that don't matter. People that don't matter. That text message that you received, you're really going to let that steal your joy? You're really going to let that ruin your day? Is this going to matter in 5 years from now? Is this going to matter in 10 minutes from now? No. But people are so used to like giving power to situations that don't freaking matter.
Right. And it seems like the most successful people in this world, they still go through that phase of like, oh shit, like this blows. But their timeline to get over it is much shorter than most people's.
I ask myself this, what can I learn from this right now? What is this trying to teach me? Because anytime you go through a situation that is not serving you in a positive way, there is something to learn from it. So what is it? Write it down.
And you got to learn. You got to learn from it. If you're not learning from it, then it's the definition of insanity.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
You had a bad relationship, you learn from it. You had a bad job, you learn from it. You had a bad experience with a certain breed of dog, you learn from it, then become a better dog owner. You know?
Exactly. So,
it's interesting. No, it's cool because of your openness and authenticity. Even when we first met, like just hearing your ability to connect with people, it's amazing, and you need to keep spreading Epic Talks.
I love people. I really do. I love good people.
I
love good people.
And good people attract good people. So once you find like a good crew, all of a sudden you start like mining them for their good people, and then it's like, okay.
You attract who you are. I'm a true believer in that. That's how ironic that I went to FedEx to get something, and then you were sitting there when I got back, and I just sat next to you, and you heard me start talking, and you're like...
It was funny because I had just gotten a cigar with my buddy Matt, and I was going to just go home, and I was like, you know what? I really want a chicken parm from North Italia. So I just went to the bar, like, I have a beer and chicken parm. This is a vibe. And then next to me comes, Hurricane Melitsa next to Hurricane Ian.
Hurricane Melitsa, that's hilarious.
And here we are.
Yeah.
Making it happen instantly, mutual connections, mutual friends, and just getting started. So what's the grand old vision of Epic Talks? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to take it? So you're expanding to Thailand, but where would you want it to be? Like, I
want it to be a one-stop shop for entrepreneurs. Being in this entrepreneurship world for 15 years, I wasted so much money hiring the wrong people, the wrong companies to build my websites or to build my funnels or to, do my SEO, and literally money down the drain. And after you pay, people would just disappear, So I want Epic Talks to be like the hub where if people are looking, to build their business and they're looking, for somebody to build their website or their funnels, or they're looking for a mentor, or they're looking for a business coach, or they're looking for, business development, that platform is going to be there.
The platform, so you could build a funnel on the platform, or the connections that can help you with are within the community.
Yeah, exactly. So you go on
like
there.
Like vetted connections,
exactly.
Basically.
So you go on there, and the company that you see on Epic Talks is vetted by me. And it's a company that I trust. If you're looking for a copywriter, or if you're looking somebody to create your business plan, or, you know what I mean? Anything that has to do really with entrepreneurship and taking it to the next level.
That's cool. And that's a benefit of the inner circle, is being able to have access to all of these different connections.
Exactly.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's the best.
Yeah.
One-stop shop.
Yeah. One-stop shop.
And then people got to prove their expertise, obviously, within it.
Exactly.
Which is where intuition comes in, which is where seeing what's good, seeing what's wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
If you could go back in time, and when you were back, let's say you're 15 years old, and you could have talked to yourself then, who you are now and who you were then, and you could have said maybe 1, 2, or 3 things that could have saved you a ton of time, money, heartache, life lessons. And obviously the best response is what you've already been saying, is I wouldn't have changed anything because it made me who I am, and we learned from our lessons, or I would have invested in crypto. But like, what do you think, like, just for the sake of the question, what are some of those things that you would have loved to tell yourself?
Buy Bitcoin.
yeah, easy.
Buy Bitcoin. To be patient with myself, to stop being so hard on myself. I could still be hard on myself, but I've learned how to, tame that a little bit.
Like, you're really hard on yourself?
Yeah, I used to be really hard on myself,
Like almost like mean to yourself?
No, not mean. Just like I would get frustrated if I wasn't where I wanted to be, at a certain time in my life. I got frustrated because, I got married at a young age and then had a divorce at 31. And, I was hard on myself because of that. Oh, what could I have done different? And it took me a while. It took me a lot of inner work and emotional intelligence work to be able to forgive myself and be like, this is exactly what was supposed to happen, Was there
like a defining, like, healing moment, or was it a process?
It was a process, I guess once you continue doing the work on, on yourself and personal development, you start to understand yourself better. And you just start to understand that this is exactly how it was supposed to happen. Yeah. And not make an excuse and not be upset because it happened. Just be like, this is what was supposed to happen. And I'm a true believer in divine timing. I'm a true believer that the reasons why I've gone through the things that I went through, and there's obviously a lot more things that I'm still going to go through, is because that's going to help me elevate and get to the next level of my life. And I truly believe that every new level, you're going to meet a new devil. Yeah. Right. I love that line. So I'm just learning as I go. So when another situation arises, okay,
you got the tools and the playbook to get over it.
And accepting it. It's okay. You're going through this. It's okay. All right. So how are we going to overcome that? Because once you overcome that, then it's another level. And I truly want to be known and be remembered as a person who cared, a woman of vision. I'm a woman that really cared, connecting other humans and helping them step into their purpose and their greatness. Majority of the people go walking around their life and they don't know what their purpose is. They don't know what they're here for. Yeah. And I want to help you find your purpose. I want to help you connect with the right people. I want to help you believe in yourself. And that's what I want to be remembered as, the Queen of Hearts, and somebody that really cared about others.
The Queen of Hearts. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Is that your Halloween costume this year?
No, I didn't think of that, but maybe.
Potentially. That's a good idiom. And it's interesting because I love the line, like, to have good friends, you need to be a good friend. And like, you're clearly someone that loves your friends and loves the people you're with. And I think it's the biggest lesson. Like, what can we do every day to remind our friends we care for them, and live every day as if, it's going to be your last day with someone. Make sure you tell them you appreciate them. Make sure you tell them you're grateful for them. Like, leave every interaction with some positive note, because you just never know. And that's how life works.
Absolutely.
And there's circles of people that help lift you up when shit gets bad, because it's going to get bad.
Absolutely.
And with the every level thing you mentioned, every level requires more of you. And to require more of you, you need to be able to show up. Like, what are some of those like sort of health or habits that you've done or incorporated into your daily? Like you mentioned, you go outside and check out the boats and stuff and hang out with Blackie.
Yeah.
Have there been any things that are staples in your life that really just ground you?
Well, I didn't always do this, but meditation in the morning, at least 5 minutes each morning, and then at night 5 to 10 minutes. And I love working out. Going to the gym feels good. Journaling, I like to journal and write how I feel about certain things, about my day.
Do you have like journals going back years?
I do. I got so many.
I think that's a superpower, because I don't journal. I really just don't like writing. I like listening.
Yeah.
But it's a superpower, because you can like read what you were thinking.
You know what's crazy?
10 years ago.
I've been doing like this closet clean out in my office closet downstairs, and I was looking at some notes, and I was like, oh, I found this. I opened up a journal, and it said, I want to be a speaker one day. I want to have a radio show. I want to have a book. I don't remember writing this. And all of that I have, and I am, and I'm like, holy crap, the power of writing things down, and it got me really happy. I even took a picture of it and I shared it with a friend, or I told a friend or something like that. They were like, wow, that's powerful.
That's really cool.
So freaking powerful to write things down and envision them. And, Napoleon Hill talks about this, and in the Laws of Success and in Think and Grow Rich, the power of writing things down and putting it out there. The universe listens when you believe in yourself.
So true. And people want to help. Successful people especially want to help. They want to give back. They want to talk about themselves. They want to give you advice. They want to do all those things.
They do.
That's why I think everyone should have a podcast, personally.
Yeah.
Or if you want to go, Epic Talks is like 10x a podcast, because it's like multiple podcasts at once. It's really cool.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm just so grateful for your connection, for your wisdom, for sharing that, for everyone in Miami, because this is really kind of merged into a Miami-based podcast, because we only do it in person now. It's the only way to do a podcast.
Yeah, I agree.
I gotta be like, what's up? How we doing? But for everyone that's in Miami, that's building a business, whether you're not in Miami, whatever, you got to check out Epic Talks. It's legit. We've heard it so many times. The name itself is just so legit.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And how can everyone follow it and follow the journey?
Well, they can follow Epic Talks at Epic Talks Miami on Instagram. The website is epictalks.com. So you can see all like the past events and flyers that we've had. And if they want to buy tickets, epictalksmiami.com. And then my personal Instagram, Melitsa, Melitsa Waage. So Melitsa Waage. And yeah, I'm here to be of service. Come and join us for an amazing event. Come to the dinners, come to the adventures. Come and hang out with me and Ian. Come and enjoy the Damn Good Day show.
And remind me the radio show.
94.5 FM Blink radio station.
This is for the Damn Good Day show.
Yes, thank you for your time and your generosity. And I'm so honored and blessed to be here.
I appreciate you. Excited for episode 2 in the future.
Hey, we're going to make this happen.
Take care. Boom.
Thank you.
This is a damn good day to have a damn good day.